We are now 7 games into the Packers 2025 season. And looking at this team and trying to evaluate, is this a type of team that can make a deep playoff run? Do they have the necessary things to get them there? I honestly think after watching last night's game, looking at this whole season, it really feels like the Packers have what's necessary. And I think the biggest thing for me, before Micah Parsons gets traded to Green Bay, looking at this Packers team going into 2025 and looking at how things ended in 2024, the big thing in my mind, if the Packers were going to have success in 2025, it would come down to Jordan Love playing very good football and being, a very, very consistent quarterback. There were some questions with the Packers when it came to their pass rush. The unit definitely was not at the level you would hope last season. They had their moments, but all in all, there's a reason the Packers made the trade for Micah Parsons. And so before Parsons got here to Green Bay, when you're looking at the Packers defense, you think to yourself, okay, they're a pretty good unit, but it's not a dominant pass rush. It's a pretty good pass rush. They can be good from time to time, but they're not the most consistent pass rush, and the Packers didn't really make a lot of moves in the offseason before the Micah Parsons trade. And so you think to yourself, Jordan Love needs to play really good football if this is going to be a Packers team that can go on and win a Super Bowl. And in the previous season, the way the Packers go out, Jordan Love throws 3 picks against the Eagles. It's like, okay, we need a little bit better play there in the playoffs for the Packers to find that level of success. And now we first off have Micah Parsons here in Green Bay, and we've seen just how impactful that is. And looking at the game yesterday, you have a moment there near the end where the Packers go up 22-19, the beginning of the fourth, and on the Steelers' following drive, where that's a massive drive in the game for the Steelers, Micah Parsons gets a sack on Aaron Rodgers. The Steelers then punt the ball. The Packers score again with Tucker Kraft. And then the next series, Steelers, you got to have something there down 10. You've letting it get away from you a little bit. And what do you know, Rashawn Gary gets a sack. And so to see things like this happen consistently, you have the Cardinals game in the end there. Micah Parsons has a couple really big sacks to help the Packers win that game. You have the game here, Parsons gets a sack in a big moment, and then Rashawn Gary gets a sack. And so you have a very dominant pass rush that in these big moments you can rely on. And so when you add that there, first of all, and then you have Jordan Love taking his game to a whole nother level, it's definitely a formula that at least feels like at this point the Packers are going to be able to use to, get success that they want to have and go on some kind of deep playoff run. Because first off, in the NFL, you have to have the quarterback. You have to have a guy that you can rely on come playoff time. And we've seen Jordan Love play very good football, a lot better than even last year. And I do wonder how much of it had to do with Jordan Love and his injuries, his MCL injury, his groin injury. That affected him when it came to running the ball and escaping, and I assume it affected his accuracy as well when you're having to plant and do things there. And looking at his accuracy, he's gone from 63.1% completion, which was 29th in the NFL, to 70.9% completion percentage, which is 5th in the NFL. So a massive jump up there. And if you want to look at EPA per dropback, which is expected points added, he was 13th in the NFL last year, and he jumped all the way up to 2nd so far this year in the NFL. So we've seen Jordan Love play incredible football, even better than last season. And so even if the Packers didn't trade for Parsons and Jordan Love was playing this level of football, I still think this team could have a chance to go on a deep playoff run. But having Parsons here and what that's done, not only with Parsons and what he does game in and game out, but also how it frees up other guys and allows other guys to make big plays like Rashawn Gary did last night. It's just a team that I feel like I have a high level of success come playoff time, because you have it's almost like on both sides of the ball, you have guys that are difference makers. Jordan Love, you have Micah Parsons, and so it gives you what you need, I think, come playoff time, where in big moments you need guys who can step up, and the Packers seem to have that. And then you throw in all the other guys who are making big plays. Tucker Kraft coming in, Christian Watson making a really big impact in his first game back. He honestly did more than I thought he would do in his first game back, just because you think sometimes, guys coming off an ACL injury, maybe the Packers try to ease him in a little bit more. Maybe it takes some time for him to really get to that full game speed. But Watson looked great last night. So that seems like it's going to be a sign of even better things to come if that's what happens in his first game. And so right now, 5-1-1, top of the NFC. The Packers are in a very good spot. It's a long season, a lot of games ahead of us still, but the Packers are in a very, very good spot right now. If you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe down below. You can follow me on Twitter at LukeBeller3. I'll leave it linked in the description down below as well, and I'll see you guys next time.